I was, for all intents and purposes, I'm sure that that chick will be back, but still though, dreams. I'm still on that. For a minute, I was really trying to like astral project and shit, and I'm pretty sure I have before, and just thought that I was like vivid, like lucid dreaming, but and I just didn't know what astral projection was. I'm gonna get into that story at some point. I think I meant to get into that story like sooner, but for some reason I remembered that fucking witch rape dream. I should probably stop saying that word, right? They're gonna, the internet police are gonna take my videos down if I keep saying the R word. Rape, it's rape. The R word is rape. Um, oh, you're back. I'm gonna invite you again. I gotta keep it to Dream Talk though, cause I'm being lazy. This is how I make my YouTube videos. Oh, unable to join. Okay. Well, what's happening? All right. So again, if anybody can give some context to that dream I talked about in the other live, that would be fucking cool. Cause I would very much like to know if I need to go see like a, I don't know, I don't do any of that shit, like a Reiki person. Who do you go for that? Who do you go see for that? Fucking sex spell dreams. I don't know. Who do you go to for that? Anyway, I had another dream I wanted to fucking talk about. Oh yeah. Uh, the last dream I remember before my dreams stopped, um, I thought was just kind of like random. What the fuck does Alaska mean? I don't know what that means. What does Alaska mean? All right. Uh, the last dream I had that I can remember, and by that I mean I'm on like a fucking dream block. Like, like I feel like I'm being kept from either having dreams or remembering my dreams, and, and not for trying. I've been trying really fucking hard. Um, ceremonies, supplements, weed. I made really fucking strong absinthe, mugwort, wormwood, 5-HTP, melatonin. Like I'm trying, I've tried all this shit. So, and then like it's the same thing with that witch dream. I can, or just any of this shit. Anytime I talk about something and I sound sure about it, it's because I feel something. Like I feel it. I feel something. So like, I don't think it's because I'm not supposed to dream. I think it's because I can feel something keeping me from remembering them or having them. But the last one I can remember was really random, and I was there wasn't like a start to it. I come to, and I'm really really big. Like I'm like the Hulk, big, and I'm jumping, but like I'm jumping in a direction, like I'm going somewhere, and and I know that I like have something that I'm taking somewhere. Like I don't know if it was for a person or for I don't know what the fuck, but I'm in a different body, a giant body, like a Hulk body, and I'm jumping to a place, and I'm in this world that's not that different from this one, but like I can tell it's not this one. And I'm in this like metropolitan, like city type, but not like a city, like a metropolitan type place, but I'm in like a industrial like complex type thing where there's like a bunch of warehouses and shit. And I'm jumping by all these like buildings and there are people inside, fucking a grip of people in every building, and they're like raving or some shit because they're all dancing and fucking and shit. And I can tell that I'm supposed to be doing something, like I'm on a task, or I'm supposed to, like, I have a thing that I have to do, and I'm in the middle of it, but I'm like jumping, and I'm jumping. It's like I don't know where the Hulk shit is coming from, but I'm jumping like the Hulk, like super high, super far strides jumping, and I'm taking this whatever thing. I never knew what the thing was, but I know I have something that I'm supposed to take to a place, and I'm very serious about that job, that task, and I don't ever see it, but I know I can feel that something is chasing me, like something's behind me, and I'm not running from it because I don't want to face it or like, get down with it or whatever. I don't stop because of the thing that I'm carrying. I don't stop because of whatever it is I'm trying to like deliver to this place or person or whatever. And my maneuvers are a trip. Like I'm jumping from the street to the top of this fucking rave building. I'm going through these weird like tubes. I fucking end up going through this party. And I think that's how I figured out that they were raving and shit in there, if I remember right. But it felt like I was on like some kind of mission or some shit. And there's like somebody trying to like stop me or get in the middle of me doing that or take whatever I'm trying to get to the destination or whatever. And it's whoever or whatever's got the same like capability that I have. So just to put that into perspective, I have I am in Hulk body for some reason, which whatever. Bodies don't mean shit. Consciousness is what is actually the thing. This is think like an avatar. Like I don't play video games, but the whole concept of avatars has always been something that I thought was what it really was. I'm in a Hulk body, jumping high as fuck, far as fuck, like really, really big leaps and strides. Something is trying to get to me to take a thing that I'm trying to get to a destination or to a person. And the only other people, I don't see any other people. I forgot to say that. I don't see people at all. I don't even really see the thing or the person or whatever that's chasing me. I just know that it's there. I can feel a sense of like, hurry, hurry up, like a sense of urgency. And pursuit, but I don't see any other people. The only other people that I see end up being in one of these buildings because I'm jumping from like, no, I don't know my destination. Like it's weird. It's like I woke up in this scenario. Like I'm already doing this. I don't start from a starting point. I'm like mid-air when I come to in this dream. And I don't have to do that thing that I mentioned before where I'm like, oh, this is a dream. It's already happened. That shit's already. It's like I already did that beforehand. Like when I come to and I'm in the air mid stride, I already know that this is a dream or whatever the fuck you want to call it. And I don't know my destination. I just know that I'm taking this thing. And it's important. It's really, really, really important. Like some life or death. Like I said, like a mission type shit. And is trying to like stop that or disrupt that. And I gotta I gotta tell you the party people were corny, which that fucking lines up. Raves are hit or miss, you know what I mean? Even the ones that aren't that cheesy are still kind of cheesy to me. But the the fucking experience is fun, the drugs are fun and shit, but the people are kind of fucking dorks to me. Anyway, same thing in this dream. The dancing was lame. They were not good dancers. Uh, yeah, they were not good dancers, and but people were like straight fucking though. People were fucking in this rave in these parties, um, and so. But I'm not stopping though. I didn't stop to see this shit. This is just what I notice as I'm jumping through these people's fucking weird sex rave party dance. It felt kind of like it felt like similar to those stories of people that like dance themselves to death randomly. Do you know what I'm talking about? There's stories of little towns and I think even like civilizations that just start dancing. Everyone starts dancing and they can't stop and they keep going for days and days and they just start falling out dead. It felt like those people were doing that, oddly enough. I can't confirm that. That's just what like the vibe I got as I'm jumping through there. So, and I think I'll admit, like in the dream, I think I'm scared. Like I feel like if I stop, like if I get caught by whatever the fuck I'm running from, it's not gonna be good. Like that shit's gonna be fucked up, you know. And not to say, I think it's more like I want to avoid this issue as best as I can. Look at this fucking temple, bro. Can't get rid of that shit. Uh, so yeah, I'll admit there was some fear because, and it was when I'm in the open at the beginning of the dream, and I come to mid stride, I'm like heroic feeling. Like like I said, like I'm on a mission and I'm doing the thing, but I don't feel scared. Then I get into these like I think that's what it was. I get into these like tight spaces, and I'm like, these niggas are gonna get me fucked up because they won't move the fuck out of the way. They're all high and fucking and shit. Move. I got something to do, you know? It felt like that. So I moved through the rave thing, and like I said, there were tubes and shit. So I somehow I jumped really high. I either end up I can't remember if these were at the beginning of the rave shit or at the end, but there are these like tubes and like little like I don't know what to call them, but it felt cramped. Like I can't jump high, I can't go very far right now, so I gotta go like a lot slower. Um, yeah, I can't remember which one, but I'm like jumping off of the tops of buildings and shit, and then I don't remember anything else. It just fades out from that. that same thing. That didn't feel like a dream. That felt like being awake. And there was no start to the dream, and there was no end to the dream. It's like I stepped into something I was already doing. It's like I stepped into something that I was already doing, and then just as abruptly left. And that felt like my body. I know I keep saying Hulk, like that was a Hulk body, but that felt like my body. So, like, what the fuck is that? And to me, this feels like the dream. And that felt more real than this. Same thing with that witch dream. Holy shit. Rod Hayes is in here. What the fuck? That's crazy. What's up, Rod? Yeah, man, there's a few things that I have that because of how language works, I have to say dream so that you understand what I'm saying, but they didn't feel like dreams. Those felt more real than this shit, and they kind of made more sense to my brain than this shit. When I'm awake in this, I'm asking myself more questions like, what does that mean? How the fuck does this make sense? Why the fuck do they believe that? Like there's more things that don't make sense about this than those dreams. And I keep wondering to myself, like, is this shit inverted? Because I have really bad insomnia, and I have to work real hard at going to sleep sometimes. And it's the same thing as I was saying, like how I feel like I'm being blocked from dreaming right now. Being blocked from dreaming is that somebody or something keeping me asleep, which would be this. You see what I'm saying? Does that make any sense? Like at first I was like, oh, somebody's keeping me from dreaming when this first started up, because I was like, damn, it's been months. And then I actively started trying to dream. Like all those things, I started taking sleeping aids, not the weird ones, but like, supplements. I named them all earlier, but a grip of stuff. And then like, more witchy shit. I know sleep is good for you. That's what I'm saying. Like I was actively trying to sleep. But then I started thinking about the dreams that I do remember, and it's like, in exactly what is sleeping? Exactly. That's what I'm fucking saying. Is this feels like sleeping. Right. This feels like sleeping. So then I started wondering to myself, okay, so if those dreams don't feel the same as the other things that very much felt like dreams, then what were those non-dreams? And to take it a step further, what is this? And then I started studying Gnosticism, uh, Gnosticism and like dream theory and matrix matrix theory. I fucking hate using that word, but that's basically what Gnosticism is like the concept that this is. People don't like it when you say prison planet and all that shit, and everything's open to interpretation. But what I do know is that this feels very weird to me. This feels very weird to me, and what people are asserting to be dreams feels real. So like I don't view my my thoughts or hunches or intuitions as crazy anymore. So like I guess the whole reason I brought up these dreams and shit and started sharing, you know, some of my experiences with them is because I'm wondering if anybody else feels the same thing. Like, do you feel like this is the dream? This. Do you feel like this is the dream and that is the real? Because that's what I'm starting to feel. And I guess that's why I started trying so actively to get back to dreaming, because that feels like the real me. This shit and this shit is weird, and it keeps getting more and more weird, and the people that I'm around keep seeming more and more off. And just little stuff, man. It at first it made me second guess myself, but all that stuff I was talking about with prison, right? And getting, when I was sent to prison, I was given a 10-year sentence, which was daunting. That shit was it scared the fuck out of me. But then again, that didn't last very long. They hit the gavel, said 10 years, but I knew not only that I'm innocent, I'm not an idiot. So I get to jail and I immediately start working on my paperwork, my appeal, and I do my own shit, and I get myself out in 3 years, right? Sentenced to 10, get myself out in 3. Ever since getting out, it's felt different. And you could argue like that's because I'm on some different shit. I got a different mentality, blah, 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 all that other goofy shit. That could be true, but I trust my intuition. I trust how I feel way more than that. So like, if this feels like the dream, and I keep having these weird like Rick and Morty moments where I notice something and then all the people look at me, or like I notice something I'm not supposed to notice and it adjusts very suddenly and abruptly. Little shit like that is why I started studying Gnosticism, and why I started looking into shit that, people usually are like, nah, that's weird, or that's the devil, that's Satan, don't look into that. That's not for you. You're gonna go to hell. Yeah, like, I'm not trying to say or assert that I know what this is, or what the right thing to do is, or what you need to do to ascend, or any of that old bullshit that a lot of people are saying. There are certain people who talk like that I think they really do have a good idea of what they're talking about. Like, it's, you just have to trust what you feel when it comes to that shit. But I think that there are more people, that I don't even know what those are. I don't know that they don't feel the same, just to make it sound less, you know, make it sound less weird to some people. But I don't like calling, actually, I don't give a fuck. Some people really do feel like NPCs. Like, I can't even have real conversation with most people. As soon as you start talking, it doesn't even have to be conspiracy. Like, you can be talking about new findings in, you know, theoretical physics, and it's like acid to them or some shit. Like, they can't hear it. Like, as soon as you start talking about it, they're like, I don't want to talk about that. Or more so, they don't say they don't want to talk about that. They disagree with you, and not only do they disagree with you, they need for you to stop believing the thing and stop pursuing that thing. Little shit like that doesn't work on me. That makes me that makes me go more into it. That makes me look more, that makes me focus more on that. So if I'm talking to somebody that is weird or doesn't like pay attention to the shit that I'm paying attention to, and then I say something that makes them uncomfortable, it's not that I like it necessarily, but I'm definitely like gonna look more into it. Like if I like when I talk about the concept of recent findings of I talk about that dude Yalda Bayoff a lot, right? I gotta charge my phone. I talk about that dude Yalda Bayoff a lot, right? That has made the most sense to me in all of the studying I've been doing. And it really, these are all just words and names and shit. When you really start to get into theology and ancient texts and shit like that, they're all talking about the same shit over and over and over again. Zoroastrianism, Gnosticism, uh, uh, Sumerians, Babylonians, the Catholic, they're all talking about the same shit. It's the same story repeated over and over and over again. So I'll say Yalda Bayoff, and somebody else will be like, oh, well, it's actually, whoever. It doesn't matter. There's so many different names you could say. It's the same thing as saying Prometheus is Lucifer, and it's like, yeah, but does that really matter? Is it still the same concept? Are we still talking about the same concept? Anyway, I've been wondering a lot of this shit to myself so much, and I post about it, but that's not really getting the types of responses that I'm looking for, you know? I want conversation. I want to know how many of us there are for real, like not government COINTELPRO people, not fucking weirdos that just want to be on the next hype train, not people that like making money off of other people's longing for meaning, because I see a lot of that shit. Like, I thought there were a lot more people paying attention to the shit I'm paying attention to, and then I find out a lot of these niggas are in cults. A lot of these people are in cults, and don't get me wrong, I'll keep listening to some shit just to like see whatever information I can glean from it or get another aspect on some shit I've already looked into. But I don't think it makes sense, a lot of the shit that some of these people are telling each other. Like, and I'm gonna say something. I'm not gonna tell people what to do, but I'm for damn sure gonna be like, hey, it kind of sounds like you're in a cult. I'm gonna keep saying that too. I don't think that's weird. I care. I care about y'all, all of y'all, until I have a reason to not care about you. Like, if you know, if there is a reason to not care about you, then I go that direction. I just think there's a lot of people telling each other very definitive information, and you don't know that. You know, you don't know how many times you've been here. I keep saying this because these are the things I'm really wondering, and I can't confirm. I'm not saying this shit because I know. I'm saying it because none of us know, and none of us are trying to figure the shit out. Like, how many times have you been here? What year is it for real? And the reason I say stuff like that, I think sometimes I say shit like that and people are like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm saying that because when you really dig into history, and there are people that make it very easy. Rod Hayes, again, I'm going to keep saying his name because that dude is a fucking G. He's done a lot of work for you. There are so many people that have done a lot of work into this shit for you. Even young Elder, like me and him kind of bumped heads on some shit a while back, but he's done a lot of work for you too. Like, history does not make sense. Most of history makes no sense. And then just on a general level, there's information out there that'll tell you that. Like the Middle Ages, the Dark Ages, that shit did not happen. Most of it didn't happen. A nigga decided that he wanted to rule. He wanted his rule to begin in the year 1000. So they added 300 years of fake. You know? The fuck is that? Like, I just want to see, I don't see enough people like this. The people that I do see talking like this, we're few and far between. There's a bunch of people that act like they're us, but they just want fucking money. What the fuck is money? Who gives a fuck about money, bruh? Even before the collapse of the dollar and BRICS and all this other shit, like, money has felt gross to me. It doesn't feel natural. People do goofy shit for it. All that shit makes me feel like it's weird, and I don't like it, you know? And I've lived a very hard life because of that. Money is fucking weird, and I don't, you know, don't enjoy it. You need to come to Skankfest, go to a comedy show. Yeah, man, I mean, I've done stand-up. I've been to many festivals and shit. This isn't that kind of issue, you know? It can't be fixed that way. This can't be fixed. This is, there's no walking backwards from that. I think that's kind of what happened with our interaction, is that you have seen me before this iteration of me. uh, uh, I do still fuck with comedy to an extent, but as you can tell, I'm in a very different headspace, you know? Going to a comedy show ain't gonna fix that. In fact, I don't even really, I used to, like I told you, I used to watch and listen to comedy podcasts and shit as much as I study now. No, I don't know you. You said that. You were like, I recognize your name from the Legion of Skanks chat or some shit. And you do. You do recognize me from that. I'm just saying, like, you said I need to go to Skankfest or to a comedy show. This is my response to that. This supersedes that to an extreme extent. Like, there's shit we should be paying attention to, and everybody's just content with bullshit. So I'm like, I'm not trying to guilt trip anybody into thinking like me or make them feel bad for it. I'm just trying to get a temperature test. Like, how many of us are there? And by us, I mean, like, the shit I was just talking about. This being the dream, and that being the real. And you can take that, on a literal. You can take that in a literal sense or figuratively speaking. It really don't matter. It means the same shit. Like, it's. I do think you're right with that, though. I think a lot of people. I think there's more of us than even I might think sometimes, but at the same time, if they're so ready to run away from this, like these truths and shit, they're not us. Because I can't go, like I said, I can't go backwards. I can't unsee this shit, you know? And it's not depressing. I think people think I sound negative or some shit. Uh, but it's not negative to me. I just can't. It's all I see. It's all I see now. Like, why the fuck do we give a fuck about green paper? Why the fuck do we give a fuck about green paper? We could just as easily just fucking help each other and trade with each other and do shit. You know what I mean? What the fuck do we give a fuck about green paper for? Why do we drop our kids off with strangers 8 hours a day? Like, we sell our kids' names as dead corporations to a bigger dead corporation for green paper that isn't even yours, and then you pay taxes on it. Like, the fuck is this? And then why to get it away from political shit, why is it so important that we all think such specific versions of this experience? Like, if I have a different idea or opinion on some shit, why is it so important to talk me out of it? Why will you put me in prison if I say certain theories and I have a certain number of ears and eyeballs paying attention to it? What what's being hidden that needs that much protection? Why are we getting poisoned in every possible way 24/7? Even when you are asleep, you're getting poisoned a good 3 or 4 different ways. And you still don't die. That's a even separate question. How is that? Why is that? I I'm putting this shit on YouTube and starting to do these Instagram lives and shit, and it's not even to do those things. I don't give a fuck about followings or money from YouTube or none of that shit, bro. I need to know if and how many other people see this and aren't seeing it and then monetizing it, because that's where it always stops. I can tell other people see it, but them niggas want money. They're monetizing that shit, and they don't say certain stuff so that they can make their money, and they say other stuff like a lot so that they can get their money. That shit is gay, bro. Like, yeah, you gotta get some sleep. You gotta go to work. I'm gonna keep doing this because, like I said, this is my way of putting some shit up on YouTube without having to fucking edit anything. You know, just want to put my thoughts out there and get some back. Hopefully, hope work goes good for you though. Um, I think that things are vastly different from what people perceive them to be, even in things where they think they have a full grasp on it. And I think that the more of us that start talking like this and thinking in this direction instead of getting stopped up on a couple of different things. We just start looking at the whole thing as fucking fucked up. I think we may be able to start going in the right direction. Yeah, it's the same name on YouTube. It's gonna be random though, because I'm gonna talk about whatever the fuck, you know. I think your conversation with me might end up there, even with the weird shit that's in there. I don't really feel like editing shit, you know. But if the shit that I say doesn't hit you in a way that is like resonating, like highly resonating, there's certain things, there's certain parts of it that have to, they have to be. You're just you don't want to face that, like the fabrication of history. Like, do you get the implications of that? That means you have no idea what transpired before your birth, really. Even after that, because you were a kid, you didn't give a fuck about this shit then. So let's just say before your birth into adulthood, and to take it a step even further than that, did you give a fuck about any of this shit before adulthood? I mean, when you became an adult, you know, because I didn't. I thought I did. I care. You know, metal kids and punk kids, they like to care about the issues and shit a lot, but that's all fucking fake shit, fake political shit. So, did you don't know where you are, really. You don't know if the people that say they're related to you are related to you. You don't know if, if what you're told a dream is really a dream. Like, these these are things that once you start to really understand the way that I and few others have started to like see things in that light, you can't stop thinking about it, because you don't get a definitive answer. You get stuff that really resonates with you. That's definite. Gnosticism really, resonated with me. Rod Hayes breaking down history and symbolism and the occult, so on, so on, so on. That really resonated with me. Young Elder breaking down some of the same topics really resonated with me. Rashad Jamal, and fuck you if you got a problem with me saying that. That shit is stupid. You know that's not. I mean, there are people that study as much as I do that when they talk, you know that they know what they're talking about. You can feel it, but some of you don't want to acknowledge that because it's easier to not acknowledge that. This is scary. It's scary and it's weird. And whether you're a Christian or not, people think that if you're not a Christian, that whole faith thing doesn't apply to you. Y'all are doing the same shit. You're doing faith too. Your faith is just not in God necessarily, or Jesus or whatever. Some of y'all's faith is in old Sumerian gods. Some of your faith is in the sun, a flash from the sun, you know, And the thing is, I'm not saying whether I believe those things or not, because a lot of the time I do believe it, but I also don't think that means that I should sit up and just wait. My brain still works. So why would I just sit up and wait? I could find out more information and be better prepared for whatever the fuck is finna happen. Because there are people that have been working very hard on and spending lots of money on trying to confuse you your entire life, since before your life started. Trillions of dollars on a system that is specifically and intricately set up to just confuse and subjugate everything that you know. And most people's psyche can't take much of that, so they stop at a certain point. And some people have different experiences, or they think they do anyway, but it's all the same shit. It's all whoosh, nigga. It's all whoosh. Like, why isn't that concerning? Why isn't that concerning to people? I think that I got a lot more of these I'm gonna have to do, because obviously shit gets suppressed. Algorithms are not designed for this kind of talk. I'm definitely not finna censor the shit that I'm saying for this shit. I talk the way I talk. Get the fuck over it. You know, I don't care about money, so you're not gonna get me like that. You're not gonna you're not gonna censor me like that. I don't give a fuck about none of that. This is a very different goal that I got. Specific goal. You know, ain't got nothing to do with money, except for maybe destroying it, getting rid of it. But I don't know, man. This is how I talk to, and not just to say on that monetary shit. Like, uh, I joke and call them rants. They're not rants. This is just how my brain works. It's 1,000 miles an hour. My brain goes 1,000 miles an hour. But if you can't hear the many, many, many points that I make about this existence, and that doesn't light something in you, that means you're weird, not me. And that's why I'm doing this. I want to get a better understanding for how many of us there are, because the sleep people, the Walking Dead, whatever you want to call them, they'll get your ass killed. You know, in real life, they'll get your ass killed. So I'm this shit is important to me to figure out what this is. Not even what is going to happen, because no one no one can tell you that. I wouldn't trust somebody if they said they could. Plenty of people will tell you that they can definitely tell you what's gonna happen, but why the fuck would you believe that? Half the time when I hear people talk like that, I can feel that they're lying. I feel it. I don't. A lot of this shit I just started learning about a few years ago, you know, but I've always had the thing, like, the empath shit. Like, I can feel things from people, so I can feel that they're not telling the truth. And it does bother me when they, like, instruct us all on how we should be and what we should believe and what we should think and how we should. That shit is goofy and weird and creepy, really, you know? But there's so many different levels to this shit that people that get tripped up by that shit don't think that they're still struggling with sleepiness, you know? Don't follow anybody. Just listen to people. You get what I'm saying? Like, don't be a follower. Be a supporter. Don't let these people tell you that you're living or surviving wrong. But if they got good games, some good gnosis, then soak that shit up, right? I just think there's more, way more to this shit than even some of the higher up or higher performing, you know, platforms and shit talk about all the time. It's hard to put into words, but politics don't fucking matter. It's interesting, it's entertaining, but that shit don't fucking matter in the grand scheme of things. There's better shit to focus on, I guess, is a way to say that. Fucking, if you pay attention to how many of the videos of phenomena going on right now have you seen happen in person? Hmm? How many natural disasters and weather events, UFOs and ghosts or whatever the fuck, how many of those have you seen in person, witnessed in person? And it's not to say that shit, none of that shit's real, because again, I believe most of that shit is real. But how much of it have you seen in person? You know, this delivery system for information is a blessing and a curse. It's dangerous, and it's necessary for change. It's so easily manipulated and used, and they understand it way better than we do, because it's not new technology. There's fucking hieroglyphs with cell phones and computers and shit. Like, they've been studying this shit way longer than you have had it. They know how to use it in ways you won't think of, because you're not on that type of time, you know? Why would you be? And the people who start to wander down this road, this path, don't get met with open arms very much. It's, if you go to the extremes that some of us go to, like this shit, they lock you the fuck up. Depending on what you say, they'll lock you the fuck up, because if nothing else, this shit's got to keep rolling. This shit's got to keep moving and producing. This is a farm. This is a farm. And I mean that in multiple ways. Slavery never left. People getting trafficked and ate and shit. Like, how are we not all paying attention to all this shit and trying to do something about it? Why the fuck does just a few of us gotta feel like we're weird because You see thousands of kids get taken, and you see your people getting kidnapped and bumped off, and guns getting dropped off and on the corner in the hood and shit. Like, how the fuck am I the crazy one for paying attention? That don't make no sense. They got y'all so concerned with like anything else. So many like distractions. Some of it you don't. It's so serious that you don't think it's a distraction because people die within the distraction. But that what does that mean? What does a life mean to people that do the shit that they do? Don't give a fuck about killing some people to put on a good show. Why the fuck would they care about that? And then there's people pretending to be us, weaving these crazy fucking narratives and stories, playing on your hopes and dreams and heartstrings and shit. Got you don't. So a lot of people don't even realize they're just waiting for another form of Jesus to come save them. They talk shit about Christians. Oh, you waiting on Jesus to save you? Ha ha ha. And then they're waiting on something to come save them and don't even realize it. You look dumb because you're talking about the same thing you're doing and laughing at it. If you're waiting on a mother plane or baby planes or, you know, messiahs, if you're in orders, like all these things are pitfalls to keep you from using your brain to realize what you are, who you are, and what you can do. It's not to say that you're ever going to get like a full answer, but the point is that you should be looking for the answers and not just accepting the ones that very, very probable, you know, potential cults and agents are giving you. Critical thinking. I'm trying to boost my critical thinking back up. I still have to catch myself sometimes like, oh, this is that. These two are the same thing. Why the fuck do I think those are different? It happens so much. That's how they do so well at this. These niggas just keep changing their names. All of them. You know, whether you view them as agreeable or disagreeable, we don't die. They just keep changing their names. And a lot of people are so concerned with picking the one they like the most and then saying that their name is their name. I'm Azathoth now. You know? But who the fuck cares, nigga? Can you do stuff? Can you do what Azathoth does? And it don't matter yet. I don't give a fuck if you're Azathoth right now. Like that shit don't matter yet. I think I got like a few I think I got a few more videos before I start evening this shit out. Right now, I'm just venting because I've been holding a lot of this shit in for a grip, you know? And it's not negative. I know it sounds like it's negative, but this shit is frustrating, bro. If you're not frustrated with this, I don't know what the fuck's wrong with you, you know? But the positivity's in there. Like I said, I'm excited. This shit is exciting to me. I can't wait for this shit to pop off, you know? I want to see. I want to see what this is. I want to I want to see what this is. I want to test myself on being able to decipher and um, sort the fake from the real.